That first line of storms came through around 9 a.m., uprooting several trees from Oshkosh to Suamico over to Algoma. We found a lot of branches on roads, taking down some power lines too. Many people affected were able to begin cleanup immediately, but at one point more than 12,000 customers were without power across the state. The village of Suamico, one of the most heavily impacted areas from this morning. Major damages there to trees and some power outages too. Sam Goodman joins us live from Suamico, where cleanup and restoration is happening right now.
Thanks, Cami. Yes, I'm here in Suamico, where, as you can see, cleanup and restoration is underway from the damages left behind from those heavy storms that rolled in earlier this morning. And this was the area with some of the most significant damage, as trees were ripped out completely from the ground. They blocked the roads, took out major power lines, and damaged a few homes. I spoke to one resident that had power ripped right from the side of their home. Another resident I spoke to had multiple trees down in her yard, and they were some of the largest that we had seen all day. And one of these trees crushed a trailer that had 3 snowmobiles in it. It was also next to their home as well of their parents. Cleanup crews and tree removal services are all over the area to help fix the homes and clear off these roadways.
I came in and it just kept getting darker and darker, and the sky started turning green, and the wind just picked up like crazy, and the rain started, and it was going in sheets across the road. And I saw trees bending, and I heard loud snap noises, and then the power went out.
Outages are still impacting Brown and Kewaunee counties, with Kewaunee County seeing over 10% of homes without power and over 5% here in Brown County. Suamico was the most heavily impacted town in Brown County, with over 2,000 of the 3,000 homes without power in the county. And Wisconsin Public Services did just update me that by tonight, they will have either a crew out to every home or power fully restored to every home that was affected by these storms earlier today. In Suamico, Sam Goodman, Action 2 News.